Today we are going to discuss the third and final sutra, at least for now, which deals directly with the phenomenon of being stanivat. Of course, the first one being stanivadadesho nalvidao, the second one achafparasmin purvidao, and now we will come to the third in a moment. It wouldn't do any harm to take a few minutes and review the first two sutras, 1157 or 1156 and 1157. But I'm going to summarize them in a way, a different way than we have in the past. And in fact, it doesn't just mirror, it is the way in which Siddhanta Kaumudi discusses these sutras. And from my point of view, it's an example of how Siddhanta Kaumudi is a wonderful commentary for people learning the grammar, but not a good primary text for them, for people learning and understanding the grammar. In any case, what we're going to do is re-examine or start again with what was the running example for the first two sutras, except we're going to kind of make that the lead of the story. So we're starting with Suti Upasya. Suti Upasya, worthy of worship by the well-educated or the knowing. Worthy of worship by the well-educated or knowing, and a way of referring to Brahman, really. So, Suti Upasya, in considering this Sandhi, the first rule that comes is 6177 and 47 in Siddhanta Kaumudi, Ikoyonachi. And as we've said, Ikoyonachi is describing the substitution of yan for ik, ikaha being shashti of ik, and as we know, shashti sthana yoga, ikahastane yan syat. Yan will come in place of ik, iurlak, yaralava. So yan will come in place of ik, which is followed by ach, ayunrulaking ayouch. So when an ach follows, ik will be replaced by yan, and yata sankyam anudesha samanam. When there are two lists of equal length, they are related in ordered pairs. Of course, you could also use Stadentaratamaha and come to the same conclusion. So, bottom line is, we start with Suti Upasya, and then with Ikoyanachi, we get the Adesha of E, being the Adesha of E, and we now have Sudyi Upasya. Then we have noticed, or Batoji Dikshikta has noticed for us, there is a sutra which is next in line in Siddhanta Kaumudi. It's not at all in Ashtadhyayi order, but he has ordered these sutras for the express purpose of elucidating this sequence of changes. So 8.4.47, Anachicha, or 48 in Siddhanta Kaumudi. And Anachicha, to boil it down, says that if a consonant which follows a vowel, is followed by another consonant, then that first consonant is optionally doubled. Okay, it's not exactly how it's framed, but that's what it amounts to. So in our example, we have Ashtadhyayi, and here the d follows a vowel u, and is followed by another consonant y. Now the question arises: Stanivad adesho nalvidao. Stanivad adesho nalvidao. Well, if the adesha should be stanivat, meaning if y is really like it's stanin, e, then we don't meet the criteria for anachicha. We don't meet the criteria for anachicha because y may look like a consonant, but in its heart and soul, it's really a vowel. Now, I'm going to briefly, again, complicate matters because Batoji Dikshita takes the second part of Stanivad Adesho, anulvidao, the anulvidao, as meaning not in the case of an injunction related to a single letter. Now, one of the reasons I decided not to go into this is that apparently commentary allows for 4 different interpretations of the structure of anulvidao, and with differing meanings and so on and so on. But Batoji's opinion is obviously very worth listening to. And so he says that Stanivad adesho is not a problem for the doubling of d in Ashtadhyayi because the substitution of y for e is a injunction related to a single letter. So he said that means it's okay, it's not stanivat. But even if that's true, and it's, who's to say? Although I guess I have a bias, but we'll save that for another time. There is still 1157, which Batoji Dikshita puts in right after, and it is after also in Ashtadhyayi, Achav parasmin purva vidao. Achav parasmin purva vidao. So, as we've discussed, the situation in Yudhi Upasya exactly fits into the mold of Achav parasmin purva vidao, because the substitution of e by y is triggered by the following u, and that will then trigger a change of the letter preceding y, namely d. So Achav parasmin purva vidao should seal the deal, and making the y definitely stanivat and as e, and so nixing the doubling of d. That's what we thought until now, because the next sutra, which I think is almost like a Vartika, but doesn't really matter what I think. Here's the next sutra. And this is directly related to Achav parasmin purva vidao. So 1158 is, and 51 in Siddhanta Comedy is Nipadanta dvir vachana vareyalupa svara savarna nu svara dirgha jas charvidishu. Nipadanta dvir vachana vareyalupa svara savarna nu svara dirgha jas charvidishu. And the anuvrtihi is Stanivad adesha achaha parasmin purva vidhao. So, putting that together, and we will go over this in detail in a minute, this is a list of 10 possible injunctions, kinds of injunction. And this is directly limiting the influence of Achav parasmin purva vidao. So it's saying okay, achaf parasman purva vidau will render this stanivat, but not in the case of these 10 situations. Not in the case of these 10 situations, namely padanta dvirvachana vare yalopa swara savarna anuswara dirgha jash char vidishu, meaning the operations or the injunctions. So let's look at those in more detail. Now this is the kind of situation in which one could just say these things are there and leave it at that. We're going to take a sort of middle road, say a little more than that without trying to go in great detail in each of them. So again, keeping in mind, these are all constraints on achaf parasmin purva vitau concerning the stanivat of an adesha. So on the top, I've just put the anuvrtihi because that's kind of fills it out. Stanivat adesha achaha parasmin purva vitau na vidishu, not for rules relating to vitishu, not for rules relating to the following. So, padanta, the last letter of a word. Dvivachana, the doubling of letters. Vare, the affix varaj. Yalopa, the dropping of ya, and we will adarshanam lopa, I think is maybe next up on our list. Disappearing, becoming invisible. Disappearing is called lopa. So the dropping of ya lopa, swara, things to do with accent, savarna, substitution of savarna for other letters, anuswara, and dirgha, that's the substitution of dirgha for either for hasva vowels, and jash is the substitution of jash, jabagada for other jal, and then char, the substitution of char for other hal. So that's the list. Now, if back to the drawing board in terms of achaf parasmin purva vidau, we were left thinking that achaf parasmin purva vidau finally definitively gave the go-ahead for y being stanivat to its stanin e, which would have blocked 8447 anichi cha for good and all. But here we have nipadanta dvirvachana, doubling. So not in the case of doubling, and anichi cha is all about doubling. So bottom line is suti and upasya have two valid forms, one of which the d of suj is doubled, and one in which it's not. So there you go. This is an example of a kind of beautiful clockwork of interacting mechanisms. So take care. Thank you.